Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of What We Cook. Kate and Tiff here, and we are all dressed up to go in for steak night. Join us, stay tuned for this episode. Welcome to this episode of What We Cook. Thank you for joining us. As always, remember, like, follow, share. We're glad you're here. We're dressed up. You don't have to be, but if you want to, you can. It is steak night, and Caitlin's going to make one of my very favorite sides. Tell us.
All right, so that side is asparagus tart. So starting off, we're going to have a puff pastry. You can find this in the freezer aisle. Usually come to a box, so hey, make one, save one for another night.
Yeah.
So let's get this going. So get the puff pastry out. It's been thawed, so we're gonna flour the counter, and I'm just gonna roll this out to fit on this baking sheet.
All right, and while she's rolling it out, I'm gonna tell you about our choice of beverage for the evening. This is Bull in the Heather. Now, super secret, we have a friend who has really been taking care of us, providing us some nice crafty cocktails. So this is Bull in the Heather. We haven't had it yet, but it is a lemongrass infused gin, spearmint tea, Kochi Americano, lemon, Suze, I hope I said that right, and cucumber. So it sounds nice and refreshing and a great accompaniment to what we're gonna do with our meal tonight, and we're gonna enjoy this while we're prepping.
How is it?
Oh yeah, cucumber is nice. This is a great summery drink, and it is officially now grilling season. I'm just gonna say, when I grill the steak out there, we're gonna have to have a few sips with us as well. But
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think it hit 93?
Yeah, we're probably not gonna see too many temperatures under 90s now for the next 3 or 4 months, but it's
all right,
crazy.
So do not judge my rollout. But we're gonna get this up off.
And the key,
counter.
like you said, is kind of let it come to temp just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
because if it's frozen, it's not gonna roll out.
No,
it's gonna be a big mess. So make sure you prepare that ahead of time. Same thing with your steaks. You want your steaks to come to room temperature, so set those out about 20 to 30 minutes before you throw them on the grill.
All right, so I'm gonna scoot this way. All right. All right.
You haven't had a sip. You need to have a sip cocktail.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Very much.
So, cheers to you.
All right, so that's good. Now we're gonna score it. Get this prepped for the oven, which oven is preheated at 400. So I'm gonna score the outsides. We're gonna let the outsides get puffed. But then we're gonna prick the inside because we don't want it all puffing up on us.
Some fancy fork marks there.
Yeah. Okay, so that's set. So now we're just gonna get this into the oven. We will pre-bake this for about 5 minutes, just to let it puff just a little bit, but don't want it to cook all the way through. Puff pastry is in for 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and pull it so we can finish assembling it. For tonight's asparagus tart, obviously we've got asparagus, but the cheese that's gonna go on that is Gouda cheese. Now we've tried this with a few other cheeses. Gruyere is probably our top favorite, but tonight we're giving Gouda a go. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the puff pastry with the cheese, and I'm gonna top it with the asparagus. And then while I'm doing this, Tiffany's gonna tell you about our steak.
Yeah, our main course, so excited. We love steak night. We love to go big when we do. We were able to score some prime ribeye from a local establishment, and we figured, what the heck? The weather is perfect, and hopefully the steak is too. It's been coming to room temperature for about 30 minutes. That way when you throw it on the grill, its temperature is even, and that is a nice looking steak.
That is beautiful.
So you don't want to have any like cold parts of your steak. When you throw it on the grill, you want it to kind of be nice and even, so it cooks evenly. We prefer medium rare, and hopefully I'm gonna do it justice tonight. So I always say with any good steak, if it's a good steak, you don't need a lot of seasonings. You don't need a lot of different flavors. You don't need marinades. And please, please, please don't use A1. Please don't. That's a job well done when a steak doesn't need anything extra. So we're just gonna sprinkle on some garlic, salt, and pepper. I'd probably say about 3 or 4 tablespoons, or excuse me, 3 or 4 teaspoons. And I love a bone-in steak. So much flavor, juicy, and I like to gnaw on the bone. Just gonna say, that's my guilty pleasure. So sprinkle both sides. Get some good salt and pepper on it. Garlic, salt, and pepper.
All right, while she's sprinkling her steak with some salt and pepper, I'll show you how I did the asparagus. I alternated ends on the asparagus, so not all the tips and ends are at one side. So when you get that piece of tart, you're gonna have both the ends and tips, and so you're not gonna get gypped on just the ends. So these are all set. I'm just gonna give it a light spray of some oil, and then just some salt and garlic, salt, and pepper.
There's a theme here, garlic, salt, and pepper. It doesn't get much easier than that, but it's gonna be a bunch of delicious flavors.
All right, so this is ready to go back into the oven for about 20 minutes or so. Keep an eye on it so that the side pastry doesn't begin to burn though.
All right, now it is time for me to shine. This is where I really enjoy the love of cooking. So I've got our 1-inch prime bone-in ribeye ready to go on the grill. The grill has been preheated. We're about 400 degrees temperature in the grill. And also for the side tonight that I'm gonna grill some yellow squash that has been marinating for an hour or two. You know, do whatever you wish. It doesn't have to marinate very long, but in Italian dressing, a little bit of olive oil, of course, garlic, salt, and pepper. So I'm gonna take our 1-inch bone-in ribeye and I'm gonna put it on medium-high heat, open flame, nice sizzle going and some flame shooting up. We like it medium rare. Probably gonna cook it 4 to 5 minutes. It's a little bit on the thicker side, so it's gonna take just a little bit longer on the first side. So we're gonna let it go for about 5 minutes on the first side. About halfway through, 2.5 minutes in, I'm gonna give it a quarter turn because I like presentation and grill marks. Also gonna get our squash on our grill pan. Nice sizzle. Of course, that olive oil and Italian dressing kind of making it flare up a little bit. Get these spread out. I'll probably turn the heat down. We don't want it going too crazy. And I cut the squash kind of medium thin, so it'll cook pretty fast. So just keep an eye on it as it goes. You get these all settled in. And it looks like the flame has settled down just to a good point. Try to get them all spaced out where they're not overlapping if you can. And we're gonna take the grill lid down for a couple of minutes and then we're gonna let them hang out and then we will turn the steak a quarter turn halfway through the first side. Steak's been on for about 2.5 minutes and that flame is looking good. And I like perfect grill marks, so I'm gonna give it a quarter turn. So it'll give that nice crisscross grill mark on the steak. Looks like our squash is doing pretty well. I might could turn up the heat a little bit, get a little more char on them while the steak continues to do its thing. Okay, so our steak's been on for about 5 minutes on the first side. Flame's still going good. We turned it a quarter. Look at that nice char, perfect grill marks. Now we're gonna put it down on the second side for about 3 minutes to get that medium rare. Squash is coming along. So we're getting close. And I know that asparagus tart is also making some progress in the kitchen, so I can't wait to enjoy. 3 more minutes on the second side of the steak. It is ready to come off the grill and getting closer to getting in my mouth. Look at that. So we're gonna set the steak down, and it's also gonna need to just kind of rest for a bit, let all the juices redistribute, and our squash, perfectly timed, is also ready to come off. And we'll put those in our presentation platter. Looking forward to trying all of this. The tart is also getting close. Oh, lost one. The tart is also getting close to being done. We are gonna have one fine meal coming our way shortly. Our steak is off the grill. It is ready to rest for 2 to 3 minutes. So is our squash. The asparagus tart is almost on its way as well. I'm gonna tent the steak to keep the warmth in, but the juices will redistribute, and we are oh so close.
20 minutes is up. We're gonna pull our tart out. Oh, that looks beautiful too. That asparagus is perfect. I'm just gonna get this to the counter.
Everything is ready to plate up. Caitlin's got the tart, the steak is here, the squash as well. We enjoyed our pre-dinner drink.
We did.
And now we're gonna be enjoying a Pinot Noir because red goes really well with steak. And we're gonna make this really fancy. And thanks for joining us as always. Like, follow, and share. And check out teamsaunderstry.com for recipes and more. Sign up for our newsletter to get exclusive information, recipes, and all the things we share. That looks really good. That cut perfectly.
Yeah.
20 minutes in the oven, asparagus, Gouda, puff pastry, put it on the plate. I'm gonna get some squash. Nice colors.
It does. Looks great.
A nice assortment there. Our very fancy knives. Anniversary tradition is I buy Caitlin a new knife every year for our anniversary, and this was a couple years ago. Nice steak knives, and these are really, really fancy. So let's not wait any longer. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love steak.
slice into this.
I love cooking steak. Oh yeah. Look at there.
Nice. A little pink in there.
I'm gonna take a big steak. It's a big steak bite.
I'm gonna cut into the heart of this. Yeah. Some great
Prime
juices.
ribeye.
Yeah. Whoop.
Oh yeah. That looks so good.
Yeah. Man. It kind of melts in your mouth a little bit.
She lets me cook steak and I love it. I'm gonna go for a little bit of squash here.
Got that nice char on the top. Yeah.
And squash is great. Marinated in some Italian dressing, garlic, salt, and pepper, a little bit of olive oil on the grill for 10 minutes. Super easy.
Yeah. Try this tart.
I love this tart. It's one of my favorite sides that Caitlin makes.
It might sound fancy, but it's not hard at all to make. You don't have to pre-cook the asparagus. You just put it on after it's been washed. Yeah. The only hard thing about it is keeping an eye on the tart so it doesn't burn.
And you can use an assortment of cheeses. We've used Gruyere, Havarti. Today we used Gouda. Whatever you see that you like, put it on there. Oh my gosh. And cheers to everyone for watching.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
y'all.
joining us for what we cook. And remember to like, follow, and share. Cheers to you. Cheers to my beautiful wife.
Cheers to mine.
With love from our kitchen to
right.
yours. Have a great night.